just renewing a subscription. So
yeah, I got an amazing Christmas present from Lyra in the background, which is that we don't get to see that now because we're going into the game.
All right, we are starting this up here again, 1st to 7. And if we're talking about the seeds on this matchup, Bingo is the 3 seed and Coldless is the 6 seed.
Yeah, Coldless already having a missed drop. Maybe not used to the handling of TC quite yet. We'll see. Like we said, new to TC. Hopefully they can hold their own. Bingo with a beautiful floating T-spin. A bit of a fin there, I believe. Oh, the missed drops from both players. Ooh, yucky.
Coldless does have the cleaner board state right now, but
that's great.
That's an insane fix right there. I feel like that's a very PPT-esque thing. I feel like PPT players are good at turning the weirdest things into T-spins.
Oh, that was beautiful. I thought they were going to turn into a T-spin for a moment, but they're going to burn through that entire thing. They're not going to take the T-spin triple that they did have at their disposal. No doubt they saw it, but decided to pass it up.
Yeah, and definitely keeping us on their toes when we're trying to figure out what they're doing here. Thanks for that.
There is... Yeah, no, there's a great STSD from Coldless getting a 50 and 17. That is some Tetrio efficiency right there. But look at this. Clapping right back. Bindo? I'm going to go and sit in the corner.
You've done this before, actually. Fun
fact. Did I say Bindo last time? Bingo.
I think it was something very similar. You said Bingo. You called them Bingo last time.
That was it, yeah, Bingo.
You're literally horrible. All right, so
I am the worst with names. So
it's literally so easy. There's no ambiguity about how you should pronounce that.
You know the worst part? Bingo is the name of like a very famous like Australian character. Like I really shouldn't be messing this up. Anyway, going into another zone here, Cold with an 11, quite quick, but only 26.
Yeah, and Bingo is going to be on the offense here with this zone, finding some speed, definitely slowing down to try to figure out what to do with their board.
Really clean though, and look at this.
And Coldless is setting up a 3-high TST tower.
Yeah, Coldless actually also pulled off a fractal during Bingo's zone, which means that it did next to nothing. And they had that luxury of setting up that entire thing. And look at this. They've neutralized any big attack that was done.
And we are in phase 3 now as those scores are above 60,000 points. And so these players are both going to be trying to find that efficiency, put pressure onto each other. And right now, Bingo has the better board to do that.
Absolutely. By the way, welcome to our first time chatter who got gifted a sub. Thank you, Macry. If you want to know what's happening, we are watching the Galactic Champions League Tetris Effect connected Division 2 playoffs. So it's a large tournament full of some of the best Tetris players in the world. If you want to stick around and watch, you will not be disappointed by the skill you see. You'll be mesmerized. Look at this. Look at this beautiful phase 3 gameplay.
Yes, and this bracket is not going to be concluded today. We are going to be streaming these matches over the course of several weeks, so definitely stay tuned. Hit that follow button if you want to watch the other matches.
Absolutely, Lyra. And that is round 1 to Bingo with one hefty tank. Coldless not using that half zone, unfortunately. Into round 2 we go. Oh, this is a great matchup. They both play in a very distinct playstyle. I think they're not completely comfortable with the game, and it sort of shows, but they're doing their best, and honestly, their best is damn good. I'd feel pressured by them.
Yeah, Coldless does have a lot of speed here. That's kind of what we expect from a lot of Tetrio players. It does take a bit to make sure your muscle memory transfers over, but once it does, then a lot of these players are able to go so fast in this game where speed is so important.
Absolutely, yeah, and here we go with a zone from Cold, quite low, which means that they might be under pressure here to hit their time requirements to get these high line clears. Meanwhile, Bingo, that's a pretty messy board. I'm worried for them, and that's a T-spin triple, but was it worth it rather than digging down to go for that? Oh, maybe it was. They missed the T-spin.
And they have another T-spin triple setup. Not going to be able to take it.
Oh, great spin there to save themselves.
Just right out the gate see another no sweep.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. No, we get a 1-1 straight off the bat. Nice and close. It feels like these rounds are coming down to individual plays rather than the larger scale round as a whole. That dynamic that we usually see between players like Dark Shadow and Tazago. We're going to be seeing some individual plays deciding a lot of these matches. We'll still be close, but it could go either way.
So I'm going to point out something, and I do want to advertise to tournament organizers. These are the kind of stats you're going to get out of me if you let me commentate the entire bracket. Every single matchup so far in this bracket has been tied at least once.
Lyra, numbers.
Yeah.
Usually I'm the nerd. What's going on here?
This is what happens when you let me watch the whole bracket.
Oh, I love it.
Well, let me commentate the whole bracket. I'm not good at watching it if I'm not commentating it. I'm sorry. I love y'all. My eyes just wander. But, okay, guess more so that, like, if I'm commentating the whole bracket, I'm confident that this is the only time this has happened or that this has happened every time. I don't trust myself to say always and never if I'm not commentating the whole bracket. Coldless is at the top of the board, searching for this high zone, not finding it, only finding an 18 there.
I hope that you saw willyj's message. That is... Oh, that's funny. But you know what,
Match
Lyra?
to start at 0-0. Frick off!
honest to God though, Lyra, I love it. Usually I'm the numbers nerd. I love seeing it from you. It's awesome. Keep it up.
Just barely finding this quarter zone to stay alive here.
And we are only in phase 2 as well. These players, they aren't seeing phase 3 too much.
That is right, but that may change later on in this matchup as both players start to get a little bit more comfortable in this matchup and stop making the mistakes that they've made to end those rounds early.
Speaking of mistakes, what is that? It's very fixable though, and they have one heck of a down stack. It's still going.
Yeah, they have that combo there that allows them to continue this, but Coldless is on the offensive with this zone here.
Another SGFC. We've seen like 10 SDSDs from them in only 3 rounds.
And I mean, they're a very efficient setup. This game, where it's all about your efficiency in zone, setups like that are so powerful.
57 Perfectress! Wow!
Yeah, and that is what those efficient moves will get you. And let's see if that does damage on Bingo's board. It does not. We are back to even here at the start of phase 3.
50 and 19, actually nearly exactly the same efficiency from Bingo, just without that extra line that gives you that 6 or so extra attack. So definitely Coldless walking out, they're unscathed, while Bingo with a little bit of material, but easy to play with, I think. Only a few lines, and frankly, it's quite clean for phase 3. It's quite usable.
Yeah, that does look like some phase 2 garbage here, but I'm sure the rest of the garbage coming in from Coldless will not be as forgiving.
What?
Yeah. No, I'm saying that the rest of it isn't going to be that good, but 3 in a row is insane.
3 in a row is like 1 in 100, basically. Yeah. You don't often see that. You don't often see that at all.
Yeah, and we do have Bingo with this zone here a little bit slow, but trying to make it efficient. That misdrop, though, is going to hurt some of the efficiency they were trying to find.
30 and 10 is incredible, by the way. And that's 2 catastrophic misdrops in a row. Definitely gonna
That is a cute T-spin 5.
That's nice. I like that. But they are at the top of the board now. Can they recover from this? I hope the answer is yes for their sake, but only 6 attack in 5 lines, using up their quarter, which is their last resort here. They're digging down, but they again go to the top of the board as they greed for a T-spin. Meanwhile, Coldless with an STSD, another one set up like that, and it keeps them right at the top of the board.
Yeah, and Bingo is out here acting like the Bee Gees because they're staying alive for now anyways, as they're trying to work through this pressure from Coldless.
Oh my god.
Why couldn't you just kept talking afterwards and gone with it instead of, come on,
because it gave me a pulsing in my temple, Lyra. I liked it. I actually really liked it. Here we go, though. Round 4. Oh, look at the T-spins on Cold's board. Nearly had 3 of them there.
Yeah, starting off, building that fractal early. There's some conversation about whether or not you should really be going for T-spins early, but I think a lot of people agree that the higher up on the board they are, the better they are in phase 1 here.
Well, let's just say
or just in general, actually.
Let's just say that it's fairly common to see 6-3 at the highest level, whether it be from habit or like it being viable, it works. And realistically, phase 1 is all about getting an advantage going into phase 2. Or catching your opponent off guard. Phase 1 is it's not quite a formality, but it's not as important as phase 2, I'd say.
Yeah, it feels like whenever I'm playing, phase 1 is about my opponents trying to hit a curve on me while I can just do absolutely nothing to handle it. But we have both of these players here waiting until after that phase 2 ding to start their first zones.
Yeah, I think we can really consider phase 1 to be the entree, and if you ask me, phase 2 the main course, and phase 3 the dessert that I wish would never end.
Yeah, you know what, I don't necessarily agree with you on that, considering you're the only one who eats dessert as the majority of your meal. Most people don't do that.
I have a way of life, and I will not atone or apologize.
I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying that's not how most people live their lives.
It's not wrong, it's just unhealthy. We are entering phase 3 with that L placement from Coldless, and now we say goodbye, farewell, arrivederci to our phase 2 garbage.
Yeah, and there's already some messy garbage on both of these players' boards. And Coldless is up at the top while Bingo is putting on the pressure so far.
And this is actually a really good zone. I'm still laughing from your BGs thing. I'm not gonna lie. I've got to straighten my face. It was honestly really good.
I had that in the chamber for like 30 seconds while you were yapping.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. Like the thing with commentating with me is that you have so much time to think about the best lines.
All right, and Coldless has a really difficult garbage queue to handle here. That is it. That is 2-2.
Yeah, 2 all. It is now a first of 5. I love games like this. People often make the argument, and we've seen this in a certain Garbo video before. People like say that, oh, the rest of the game is inconsequential. It's all about the last couple of plays, and sometimes all these long rounds, it ends up resulting in a very mid-game where nothing really matters. I disagree. Every play matters. Every step of this game matters. Everything feels so consequential. Players have to fight tooth and nail to win rounds here. Absolutely, every round matters. And we are at a 2-all because these players have fought so hard for it. I love it. And if you ever make an argument to me, I will throw you across the room.
That's a little aggressive, but I really like the aggressive efficiency here from the start of Bingo Zone. No idea what Coldless is doing. No clue. Good luck to them, as Bingo has PC parity?
I believe they do. At a glance, it looked like
they were at a certain point where they looked like it was very PCable, but they're alive. Coldless is alive right now at the top of the board, has half zone, so makes it out of that interaction essentially unscathed, while Bingo has quite the ridiculous down stack situation going on their side.
Yeah. Also, willyjwillyj, yes, I love you. That is it. Great work, mate. Anyway, sorry, I had to point that out. It's very important to me. I'm a passionate man.
Bingo just had a really aggressive and really greedy looking Tetris that only worked because of high ping. I'm gonna say that one. Maybe it didn't look as razor thin on their screen as it did on ours, but that's from the two players being on different continents again.
Yeah. And I believe there is not... There's a 63 and 19? Hello? That's ulti efficiency. That's high ulti efficiency. And somehow Bingo cancels it.
Somehow Bingo cancels it, which is very impressive considering there was a misdrop at the top of the zone there for them. And we are into this phase 3. An interesting thing to note here is the score difference shows that Coldless has been in the driver's seat for most of this match, but Bingo's down stack here might be enough to put this back to even.
Yeah. Bingo ended up doing a row 15 fractal there, and then Cold sent it straight back with a fractal of their own. And now, like you said, phase 3, but there's a massive score difference.
Yeah, I mean, once it hits 60,000 points, though, the score doesn't matter and is really only just used as an indicator as to who's been in control so far. Coldless is trying to go on the offensive with this zone. A lot of nice T-spins, not breaking back-to-back for a good amount of time here.
Ooh. Yeah, that
All
was
right,
a,
Coldless misdrops
yeah.
right at the end there, but this is a huge queue, and I'm wondering if Bingo's going to be able to handle it.
It's interesting because they are at the end of the garbage chunks and they're getting quite a few lines. The thing with zones in phase 3 is that it's not usually the zones that kill, it's the pressure after them. It's keeping the pressure up after you've left so that when your opponent does tank those big chunks, you are able to press them right into death.
Yeah, because a lot of players, you know, they take a bit to decide if they're going to accept or not, but once they accept, they're usually trying to burst out of that. So if you can set a little bit that they're not expecting there.
Bingo got some really bad garbage there. Bit unlucky. It's usually hard to downstack a secret grade looking board there. They have quite a few lines of it.
Four is a lot. And
I've
they misdrop too.
I've seen around. I think I've seen 6 before, which is not great. Anyway, here we go.
Yeah. Thanks for the stats lesson. All right, so we have Coldless here starting this zone with a lot of gray on the board here. Bingo is able to find a little bit of stability before they start their zone here, and we're gonna see who comes out on top. Coldless not finding the zone that they clearly wanted there, and maybe even needed, depending on what comes out of Bingo's side.
Unfortunately, they couldn't kick over that eyepiece, and that's an instant. Wow, they didn't even need the pressure after the zone. Bingo just ends it there. And look at the attack, so close for a 4-minute round. It felt so decided by that last zone, but it was really close.
Yeah, and even though we saw Coldless with the significantly higher score early on, the phase 3 play is what swung that into Bingo's favor and allowed them to take the first, the first to get to 3 points here.
Yeah. Oh my god, Coldless. That's instant loss. That's an instant win for Bingo. 2-4. Look at the speed. Ooh.
Yeah, and Bingo's brick just floating there menacingly in space while Coldless can do nothing about that board pushing up to the top.
Just getting word that we're only going to have 1 losers match after this.
Okay.
So, yes, there's 2 matches left in the day after this.
Got it. All right, so both of these players here in this phase 1, Coldless, a nice kick to clean up their board.
Oh yeah, they actually choose to downstack for that. They choose to make that combo last 3 longer than it had to, but they had to sacrifice a Tetris to do it. I wonder if that was the more efficient play by like 1 attack. Maybe not that insequential. No, maybe not that consequential, but goes to show that players do think about these things sometime.
Yeah, and speaking of consequential, Bingo does misdrop over the well when they were very clearly trying to start a zone, and so they are going to be forced to think a little bit longer before hitting the zone button, hopefully finding the stability that they want, but it is almost time for Cold Zone to be over, and is Bingo going to try to accept this here is the question. They can't really accept that much more at this point.
No, and Coldless's board, although a misdrop, is pretty good in terms of keeping up pressure after the zone.
All right, Bingo has what they need here, which is 2 eyepieces in a row, but I don't know if it's enough to come back from the misdrops that they've had so far.
This is pretty deadly. This is pretty deadly, in fact.
All right, we
That's a lot
are
of pieces. Looks like ST stacking in the middle of the board. Anyway, yeah, we're going pretty well here, and we are 1 zone away from infamous phase 3.
Yeah, and Coldless is definitely going to be looking to push this here, definitely trying to find better footing before this zone here, and Bingo is likely going to be looking to do the same here.
Oh, that was a beautiful setup, Coldless. Counting to 4, taking that Tetris with an overhang for the T-spin immediately afterwards, and that's nearly a 20. 51 in 19. Meanwhile, Bingo
starting this off with this STSD.
Yeah, but they missed the phase 3. Look at how fast their zone is plummeting. 2.5 seconds per quarter. It is not long enough to get the lines they need. They only get 12, but 34, fairly efficient. That could have been a game-changing zone, but they just weren't fast enough. And they bring it back.
That's a nice find for the T-spin with the garbage there from Bingo, but Coldless knows that the name of the game now is just sprinting on top of the attack that Bingo sends, and they're going to continue putting forth that pressure. Very nice fix on that misdrop from Coldless.
Absolutely, yeah, and look at this, another STSD, right when they needed it as well, keeping up the pressure despite Bingo's zone, and literally only having to take 3 lines, can keep up the pressure without zoning. This is massive for Coldless. This could be a much-needed win.
Yeah, trying to swing this back in their favor for sure, and so far successful. They just have to continue this until Bingo's no longer able to hold the attack that they're spamming.
Yeah, Bingo putting a lot of pressure here, meaning that Coldless is actually forced to zone. Not what they wanted this high up on the board. They can't take advantage of the full amount of time, the full length of time they were given, and now we are back to neutral. In fact, I would even dare say that Bingo now suddenly has the advantage. With that down stack, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like PPC players in general are so good at spamming attack on the top of the board, which is the meta here in Phase 3, and so definitely demonstrating that skill over here with another T-spin on top of the garbage. This is just clinical from Bingo right now.
Yeah, like you mentioned, and like I'd forgotten, Bingo quite a prominent PPT player, and Phase 3 might just very well fit that quota, you know?
Yeah, definitely playing on their home ground here a little bit with this play style, and Coldless is at the bottom of the board, dealing damage, finding these combos. Bingo trying to respond here, so far finding the combo to stay alive.
A 7 combo, beautiful.
Yeah, they're just at the top of the board here. Let's see if they will continue to find what they need to stay alive. It doesn't look great for them so far. Full zone. Coldless is just spamming that attack, finding these T-spins.
Yeah, despite what we mentioned, like, Bingo seems to be at a big deficit here. Coldless keeping up, like, perpetual pressure. That is a mouthful.
Yeah, Coldless accepting a little bit here, but Bingo, a little bit of awkwardness on the board. Coldless has a full zone, is going to try to find a fast zone here, try to use that zone height clear bonus to their advantage. They have a misdrop that results in finding a Tetris in what would have been a triple.
Yeah, that was actually kind of
benefited that.
That was kind of amazing. I think it was a misdrop, but they ended up making it work really well. They did make a couple of placements to secure that Tetris, so definitely a bit of skill there. But sometimes misdrops can, you know, work out pretty well. Bingo here.
Yeah, and Bingo has a corner zone here in a giant queue.
They managed to neutralize the majority of that chunk, but that half that had to come in somewhere, had to go somewhere, right? And on the board it goes. Great T-spin double out of a T-spin triple kick. Coldless building up a fractal, sending it right back there. And honestly,
now Bingo's just finding the combos they need to stay alive, which is definitely a little bit of luck. Even though PPT players are good at finding those combos, there is an element of luck to Bingo's survival right now.
It's either you look ahead, I don't know, it's either you look ahead 3 pieces and have a great feel for 7 bag, or you get unlucky or lucky. That's really it. Like, Phase 3 is just so brutal like that. You need to... I will say though, with Phase 3, it's about taking advantage of that luck when you have it, finding the openings that it gives you. People get equally unlucky and lucky. It's just using it it's just using it when it comes your way, right? It's comparable to Classics randomizer. Very comparable to Classics randomizer.
Yeah, no, I would agree there that naturally you're going to be given good luck and bad luck in the middle of a matchup. But yeah, like you said, it's just about being able to recognize when you are favored and taking advantage of that. Yeah, I like that.
In the meantime, we have a massive score difference. Look at that. And that misdrop.
Bingo misdrops that eye in the middle of the board, and that clearly is making them uncomfortable here.
And that's the round.
Yeah, that is going to be the round. That is a hard-fought 6.5-minute round there from Coldless.
We are now halfway through this set. Halfway through the set only. This set has been going on for a while. I love it. I
think all of our sets were at like 3-4, 4-3 at one point.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, we were already in the losers games at this time. We still have 1 match to go.
Yeah, I mean,
like
we
yesterday,
did see
yesterday.
4 sweeps yesterday. That was...
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like when we're talking about those high-level players, we do expect to see a lot of those sweeps. But, I mean, yeah, so far this is going how we predicted.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit closer than we predicted, I'll say, though.
We are on track for another 5-7 or 7-5, so we'll see if that happens or not. If my prophecy here of another 7-5 could come true. Never know.
I really wanted a player to do a prophecy so I could say, speaking of prophecy, but they didn't.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been really cute.
Yeah, the player's letting us down, unfortunately. But we have a great zone coming in from both players. 57 in 18 compared to a 48 in 19. 9 less attack, and it shows in the garbage accepted. Coldless ending quicker and quite efficient in comparison to Bingo.
Yeah, and I did actually check, unlike last matchup where, oh wait, no, didn't we say it seemed like they were listening to us last time when then we found out it was a pre-recorded match and then we looked like idiots? Never mind on what I was about to say, because I was going to say that I checked and they're not listening to us right now.
No, they're not, no. We're all alone right now with only 34 people watching us, Lyra.
Well, I'm saying the 2 players aren't listening to us. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. We're alone right now. We're alone.
No.
It's so very sad.
Stop.
It's very sad.
Stop. All right, Coldless has this full zone here, is going to use it. A bit of a combo to start this, and Bingo does have the advantage right now. They have a misdrop that's going to slow them down a little bit here and give Coldless some time to work through this relatively clean stack that they have at the bottom of the board right now.
Yeah, this is really good. I frankly wouldn't be too worried if I was either player right now. It seems fairly even. Both zone meters only, both basically identical. Bingo's going to get this full zone a little quicker, it looks like, at this pace. Yeah. And this is an interesting board state from Bingo. They had the potential for multiple T-spins there. They're getting the T-spins at the right time. They're getting the T-pieces at the right time. And it is a pretty efficient 34 and 12.
Ooh, Coldless misses a T-spin there. That's definitely going to leave their board a little bit messier than if they had properly rotated the piece. Ooh, a misdrop again from Coldless as Bingo is looking for this combo down stack right now. Yeah, both players just trying to put on pressure.
This is just really good gameplay from both. They're playing pristine. They're doing great stacking. And Cole's actually going to zone up here. I don't know about that zone. I don't know.
Bingo had a really cute little T-spin single donation here. Definitely trying to find that efficiency. Zoning here as Coldless is forced to accept some at the top of the board. I don't know if this zone was the wisest here. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. It didn't feel right when they did it, but they are getting a big one here, and that actually makes up for their pretty weak zone earlier.
Yeah, Coldless is definitely given a little bit of a second wind here. And Bingo is finding a TST, another TST. They're trying to lay on the damage here, and let's see if it works.
That was honestly a really good recovery from Cole. That zone wasn't strong. It should have spelled disaster, but they recovered with a fantastic second one.
Yeah, Bingo, an STSD here. They are definitely just trying to spam out as much attack as they can with the little space that they have at the top of the board.
That's a great T-spin they found there in the garbage. Using your garbage in phase 3 is paramount. You can't just stack on top of it. You're going to have to use it at some point. And it's going to have to be efficient if you want to live. So great work there, Bingo. 10 out of 10. And sending a lot of attack over to Coldless. A lot of lines that they're going to have to equally use, which they do. Look at that Z prophecy. That Z forecasted overhang. And they're still down stacking into... Ooh, I like that triple.
C-spin? I love that C-spin there from Coldless. That is creative. That is the exact kind of play that is rewarded in this phase 3.
Yeah, right as we were discussing, right as we were pointing out that you have to use this garbage. Coldless using it to the fullest.
Bingo had a really cute move there, just like a weird all-spins find that I really liked. And a C-spin that they don't take the second part of. I kind of like that.
I kind of like that as well. I like the creativity of these players. It's really showing like their knowledge of the game. I like it. 35 and 14. Now that is what I call efficiency.
Yes, that is going to put a lot of garbage on Bingo's board, but they have a full zone here, and let's see what they're able to do with it. That is enough to put some pressure onto Coldless, but they're able to just mitigate the end of it right then and there. A little bit of a misdrop on their board, but Bingo's all the way at the bottom. They have no stack left to use here as Coldless is moving up towards the top.
This is fantastic. I did this round 5 minutes, by the way. These are the kind of rounds we love to see in TEC. I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
And Bingo finding even more T-spins here. T-spins on T-spins on T-spins as Coldless misdrops right at the top of the board, and that could spell the end of this round.
They're still alive, but barely. And I think that this is going to be a 5th round for Bingo. Very close to 1 APP. So like, what is that, like 0.8, I think? Somewhere around there? Very good. No PC from Bingo. Probably for the best, frankly. Probably for the best.
I'm getting the bracket from your chat because I accidentally closed it. I wanted to look at the seeds here. So Bingo is the higher seed here. So we do have the higher seeded player favored right now in this 3 to 5, but the tides could definitely turn.
Oh, we nearly saw match point just there. But Coldless in one heck of a down. Still going. It's still going.
That combo is still going. That's a T-spin. Yep. Oh, that is gorgeous. Bingo is going to be able to handle all of that. They're so fast right now.
Oh.
They're speeding.
I feel the pressure you're under, Lyra. That was intense. Coldless with a beautiful combo there, but they missed drop at the top of the board. Oh dear, that is not great. 45 and 14.
Bingo can respond with a strong zone here before Coldless is able to build up that meter. They might be able to take this quick round. Coldless has no meter, but only halfway up the board after that zone from Bingo.
43 versus, I think there's a 49 or something like that, 45. Pretty close. But Bingo, considering a T-spin 0, not sure if that's going to give much attack, but they're the skilled player, not me. And look at this, they're going to need 2 T-pieces to make that work.
They find everything they need at the top of the board here. Definitely some razor-thin piece placements from Bingo. A nice fractal from Coldless as they're trying to put on the pressure instead of using that zone here, because they definitely see that Bingo's at this top of the board. Bingo is forced to zone when they don't want to, but they have 2 eyepieces.
Yeah, that was pretty good for them. Getting those eyepieces in quick succession is really important in this game. They were deliberating on trying to use some IRS there to make that a bit better for them, but they went with the quick end to a zone. They can tank 1, and that's phase 3.
So I'm going to point out that Coldless ended zone a little bit faster than they initially wanted to, but it may still work out in their favor here unless Bingo is able to find what they need here, and they kind of are so far.
Oh boy, they have another down stack, but it's going to require a quarter zone to pull it off. Really good 6 lines there. 8 attack for a quarter, not bad. And that looks like it could be game. Yes, it is. That is a 4th round for Cold. They need to win 3, whereas Bingo just needs to win 2. We're not quite at the gates quite yet, but we're there very soon. I realize that none of that sentence had any grammar in it.
Yeah, some more 6-3 on both sides here. Big surprise. Never seen that before.
No, very impressive, frankly. This is a new stacking that just dropped about a week ago. They're calling it, and this is pretty cool. They're calling it 3-6.
They literally aren't. It's 6-3. You're literally insane.
I do call it 3-6 a lot by mistake.
No, it's 6-3. Stop. You're misinforming people.
If I am Coldless yeah. I will say I think it used to be it used to be like fairly common to see 3-6 like that, but not anymore really. I think 6-3 with the way the pieces spawn, it just works better.
Bingo's not in a good spot.
No, this is not great.
Oh, but they're going to be able to use this down stack to charge their zone. Not if they misdrop like that. Ooh. This could be a quick round.
Yeah, this could be pretty fatal. Bingo's just misdrops are really doing them in here. Not great.
They are going to find this well here. I would expect them to be okay on the other side of this zone. If not, they're going to be able to tank. Ooh, they cover the well there, but they find the SPs they need. And what is going on over there? What are you doing,
We looked away for a second. What happened?
You were left unsupervised for like 5 seconds and your board looks like that.
They managed to fix it up pretty well, but it leaves them at a significant disadvantage. Coldless probably was reading the chat, seeing their PPT calling, and speaking of that, we are probably going to go to match point here.
This is not match point. Or wait, this is match point. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I read chat. I stopped and I read chat. That's my fault. It is match point. Match point for
Coldless
Bingo. My fault.
row.
Reading chat. I'm sorry. I was looking at the fact that Dormy used one of the emotes of my cat, and I was like, "Wow, isn't my cat cute?" Anyways, so we are starting off here.
He's very
not
cute.
6-3 on Coldless's side.
No, for once we don't have that. But Coldless is going to need to win 3 rounds in a row, which they've just won 1 of them. So, yeah, they've won 1 of them. They just got win 2 now. Jeremy, it's okay. Zuko is just too adorable.
Apologize. Like, what?
He's just
That is
too
not-
cute. This is not on you, dude.
Blame
2
Zuko.
rounds for Coldless, 1 for Bingo. Okay, if Bingo wins this, we have our third 5-7. We have our third match that ends with a 5-7 scoreline.
Yeah, this could be another one of those 8-minute rounds, though. We'll see.
That
Stay
8-minute
tuned.
round. That 8-minute round between Tazago and Dark Shadow was gorgeous. And Bingo trying to throw us here with something. I don't know what's going on over there, but again, they're the pro, not me. Oh boy. They have an out with the zone, but they're gonna need to stop making these horrific misdrops if they want to make it work.
Yeah, and Bingo doing something that is very difficult to do in Tetris, and that is create 2 O-piece dependencies at the same time.
Incredible from them. Their zone is
Very
objectively
impressive.
much cleaner though, and yeah, this is beautiful. They take that S spin, and if they finish this quickly, yeah, it forces Bingo to tank 2 pretty weird chunks of garbage there. 1 big boy that turned into 2 little boys. That is the official
That is a
terminology.
cute little
cheeky little
Imperial Cross. I always forget that one. Okay, so we are looking towards this phase 3, not quite yet. Bingo does it this full zone. I'm wondering if they use it now instead of waiting until they're about to push this into phase 3. That's going to give Coldless time to build up their zone, and Coldless is probably going to be the one who decides when this phase 3 starts.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see that phase 3 with this zone. Bingo is definitely trying to prepare their response, trying to mitigate some of the garbage that they know is coming their way. They're building up quarter zone as Coldless is at the top here, searching for that higher zone clear, but only finding an 18.
Yeah. So far, so good from both of them, though. But Bingo, again, I've said this a few times with Bingo, but at a significant disadvantage. Yeah, Coldless
is just
man-made.
brutal with this 6-3 upstack. That is clinical. They want to find these 3 rounds in a row to bring this back, and they're on track so far in the second.
Yeah, no, this man-made stack is just gorgeous. This is pristine gameplay with the cut copy as well.
Ooh, that is a cute cut copy.
Elegant.
Bingo has a full zone here. Are they going to be forced to use it? Yes, they are.
Frankly, that was just incredible from Coldless. They have no garbage on their board. They might choose to tank some of this here. If they tank, they don't tank anything. And you know what? Despite that misdrop,
zone here instead, that's going to give Bingo a little bit of time to down stack here, a little bit of time to get their board ready. And Coldless is. Those are some interesting fixes there.
we're in neutral. 2 minutes 52 seconds in, neutral. Coldless looked like they were going to take that round, but their lead is seemingly evaporated.
Yeah, I would say that's a little bit of a misplay there from them, but it's also really difficult to recognize when you should and shouldn't zone if you're, as Coldless did state in their fun fact, new to tech.
Yeah, and honestly, this might be the prophecy continuing with the 5-7 if Coldless doesn't get out of this dig.
Coldless misdrops here. Bingo's in the driver's seat with a full zone, starting that now with an STSD over here. Little bit of hesitancy as they're trying to start this up here, but they're looking for this strong quick zone here. Coldless has a full zone to respond, starting it now, knowing that this is their last hope for this round.
Yeah, and frankly, 35 attacks sent by Bingo. It's not massive, but if Coldless doesn't perform, this could be it. I think this
Coldless
zone is
had
enough.
some very good efficiency at the beginning of the zone, a late misdrop, and a nice fractal setup to handle what's coming in from Bingo after this zone here.
Yeah, this is incredible. I can't believe that Coldless twice here lost the lead after having it, only to bring it back to neutral. The lead is going back and forth. The player who's looking at like they're in the seat to win, is just going back and forth between the two.
Yeah, and this is something that's very underrated in TEC, is knowing how to close out the match. It seems so simple, yet requires so much work when the person on the other side of the board is an efficient, experienced player.
Absolutely, securing that win takes near perfection from either player. It's so difficult. We're seeing fractals on fractals on fractals here from each player over and over again. Bingo with a 10 so far. Coldless entering the zone to hopefully counter whatever's coming their way. 47 in 14! 2.5 playboards with a misdrop. Coldless is a tall order and your board is already quite tall as it is. That misdrop is going to end the match with another 5-7.
Another 5-7. I think those last couple pieces there was Coldless just spamming that spacebar in frustration, because what can you do there?
What can you do?
What can you do in that situation?
Despite having the score lead, that is absolutely rough. We've seen 3 5-7s here. The matches are way closer, both in the rounds themselves, but also the score finally reflecting that. That was our seed 3 versus 5. It went the way it was seeded to be. It was slated to go, but Coldless did not underperform. Considering their lack of experience
really
in the
looking
game.
forward to seeing them in that losers bracket.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, I kind of vibe the whole, like, a really experienced player being new to the game. I think it's a really interesting, these voice breaks. It's a really interesting thing to watch where their fundamentals are so good, but they just seem to have a couple of mistakes when it comes to the game-specific mechanics, the feel of these games, the handling, IRS, the zone mechanic, knowing when to use these things. It is intense. Coldless saying that it is exhausting. It is. The rounds are long. It takes a lot of stamina, but you know what, mate? Take it from me and Lyra. You did really well. You should feel...
you did great.
Yeah. You should feel very proud of how you went, mate. And good luck in the losers bracket. We won't be playing that game today because Dark Shadow had to go to bed. European moment. But we'll be seeing you hopefully in the next week or so. We'll be seeing you very soon. And I have no doubt that you will definitely perform again in that matchup.